On day 2, we're going to move into core ideas, specifically about matter and energy. We're going to define matter as stuff and energy as how stuff changes. So anything that exists consists of matter, and matter consists of atoms. Atoms make up matter, and anything that exists is made of atoms. Energy is how stuff changes. So for example, this baseball consists of matter, and if I toss the baseball, I'm applying kinetic energy to the baseball, causing the matter in the baseball to change where it's located. Matter can neither be created nor destroyed. Matter can only change where it's found and in what form it's found. But the total amount of matter on this planet, for all intents and purposes, is constant. The same is true for energy. We cannot create energy and we cannot destroy energy. We can only change energy. There are 4 kinds of energy we will talk about in this class: light energy, chemical energy, kinetic or motion energy, and heat or thermal energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only change the form in which it exists. So for example, constantly our planet is being bombarded with light energy from the sun. As that light energy hits the planet, it's being transformed into other kinds of energy. So for example, if light energy hits warm pavement, the light energy is being converted into heat energy. If we have a plant, the plant will take in light energy, and during photosynthesis, it will convert that light energy into chemical energy, which is stored in the bonds of molecules like glucose. Glucose is a molecule that looks like this. And so plants are able to take that light energy and use it to assemble atoms into a glucose molecule. Atoms are the small balls, and all of those together form a molecule. Between each atom is a bond, which is represented here by these gray pegs. These bonds can store energy in the form of chemical energy. And so what a plant does during photosynthesis is it uses light energy to assemble these atoms into a glucose molecule, and energy is stored in those chemical bonds. If I consume glucose, for example, if I have a Hershey bar, there's a lot of glucose in that, my body can rearrange the atoms in those molecules and cause that to release energy in the form of heat energy and in the form of motion. So in order for me to throw a baseball, I have to be able to convert the chemical energy found in glucose into kinetic energy, which is applied to the ball. Eventually, all of these forms of energy become heat, and that heat dissipates away from the surface of the earth. And so the energy never goes away, nor is it created. It's only changed from light energy to chemical energy to kinetic energy and eventually into heat energy. Similarly, the atoms in that glucose molecule don't go away. They all still exist even after I consume and break down that glucose. These atoms will be converted into other molecules like carbon dioxide and water, or CO2 and H2O. The atoms here will all still exist, but they'll be rearranged and disassembled to form new molecules like CO2 and H2O. Which leads us to the last point. If something gains in mass, it has to gain atoms. If something loses mass, it has to lose atoms. And so all of the atoms that were in the wood that burned on the scale still exist somewhere, but they're lost from this system. Because we went from 300 pounds to 10 pounds, this system had to lose atoms, because if we lose mass, we lose atoms. Similarly, the willow tree had to gain atoms from somewhere. And so that 5-pound tree, in order for it to become a 169-pound tree, had to acquire atoms from somewhere outside of this. And we know it didn't come from the soil because the soil stayed roughly the same weight, 200 pounds versus 199.9 pounds. And so to help you out, we have a few reminders. Number 1, matter and energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be changed. Number 2, if something gains mass, it gains atoms. If something loses mass, it loses atoms. And finally, energy can exist in one of 4 forms: light, heat, chemical bonds, or motion. Energy can be changed into any one of these 4 kinds, but energy itself can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be changed into a different kind of energy.